Welcome to the Race for the White House, your stop for the fast pace, the bottom line, every point of view in the room. This hour, why oh why is the Clinton campaign still trying to clarify Bosnia? Can Obama have foreign policy judgment without the experience? And whose side is Nancy Pelosi on, really? Plus your email. The foundation of the show, of course, is a panel that comes to play. And with us tonight, host of the Rachel Maddow Show on Air America, Rachel Maddow, Washington Post columnist Eugene Robinson, both are MSNBC political analysts, Time Magazine's Washington bureau chief, Jay Carney, and Morning Joe himself, host of MSNBC's Morning Joe, Joe Scarborough. We begin, as we do every night, with everyone's take on the most important political story of the day. It's the headline. Gene, get us started here tonight. What's your headline?
My headline, opening in theaters today, Rocky VII, starring Hillary Clinton as Rocky Balboa and Barack Obama as Apollo Creed. Let's watch the trailer.
Senator Obama says he's getting tired of the campaign. His supporters say they want it to end. Well, could you imagine if Rocky Balboa had gotten halfway up those art museum stairs and said, well, I guess that's about far enough? That's not the way it works. Let me tell you something. When it comes to finishing the fight, Rocky and I have a lot in common. I never quit. I never get up.
The trainer and corner guy, the Burgess Meredith role, and instead of yelling, "Yo, Adrian," this time Rocky yells, "Yo, Florida, Florida."
But what is the real point to this, Gene? I mean, she's making the argument that she's in it just to be in it all the way to the end, but there's still a result that she needs. She needs a big blowout in Pennsylvania. We're spending all this time talking about rules of the party, why she would want to stay in it. She needs a solid victory and not just a squeaker in Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, she needs to win big in Pennsylvania. And look, I think the Rocky analogy was probably inevitable because, she, like her husband before her, loves to portray herself as the comeback kid. You got the steps of the art museum there, use
right.
them. So,
well, the point is, but Rocky didn't win. Rocky did not win in Rocky 1, and he wanted to persevere just to show that he could go the distance. I don't think anybody really doubts that about Hillary Clinton. The question is, what's the impact of it all? Rachel Maddow, your headline tonight.
The Democratic powers that be are starting to coalesce around the idea of a decision before Denver. Check out what Nancy Pelosi had to say about this today.
The superdelegates voting their conscience, but paying attention to the will of the people will come to resolution long before July.
I have said many times before, and I think a lot of us have agreed, that there's no single figure in the Democratic Party who has the stature to make the candidates do anything they don't want to do. There's nobody who can weigh in and say, I'm the adult here, I'll tell you what to do. But I think we're starting to see a consensus among the various Democratic powers that be that the superdelegates cannot wait until Denver before they make their preferences known.
Well, Rachel, here's my question. There's a lot of talk about wouldn't it be unfair if the party establishment figures steal this away from Barack Obama? Well, this is the point. Who in the party establishment is saying anything other than we want quick resolution? Who's out there in the establishment saying, really backing up Hillary Clinton for her idea of keeping it going?
You're starting to hear a little bit in the blogosphere. You're starting to hear a little bit from pundits. But in terms of people who have actual weight in the Democratic Party, there seems to be a consensus now. And Nancy Pelosi, I think, is maybe the most recent manifestation of that. But among heavy hitters, there is a consensus that it's got to be before Denver.
All right, Jay Carney, welcome. What's your headline tonight?
My headline is, with friends like these, Clinton's climb gets steeper. Listen to this.
If I had to make a prediction right now, I'd say Barack Obama's going to be the next president. I will be stunned if he's not the next president of the United States.
Okay, that is Congressman Emanuel Cleaver from Kansas City. He thinks Barack Obama will be the next president of the United States. No problem with that, except that he is a Clinton supporter. He endorsed Hillary Clinton for president. It's a sign of how rough Clinton's road is right now to the nomination that even her named superdelegates are predicting that her opponent will win.
Jay, isn't it also an issue that more than argument, she needs an actual victory here? That's the only way to really resonate and have an argument resonate with the superdelegates?
Well, she needs a victory, and more than that, I think she needs several victories, and she needs something more bad to happen to Barack Obama. I think that the Reverend Jeremiah Wright controversy gave some superdelegates pause about his electability in November, and for Clinton to prevail, I think something else has to another shoe has to drop.
And one of the things that's on the blogs tonight, Talking Points memo, others talking about the fact that this issue of Jeremiah Wright is really starting to become a major topic that the Clinton campaign is bringing up with these superdelegates. So this conversation continues. Morning, Joe. What's your headline tonight?
Well, I'll tell you what, and that is being brought up also. The polls are getting a little bit closer on the Democratic side, so we don't know how that's going to play out. But one thing we do know, that since 1992, every single political candidate has loved to echo James Carville's line, "It's the economy, stupid." We heard Hillary Clinton talk about it this week. We heard John McCain talk about it. We heard Barack Obama talk about it. This morning we woke up to British headlines talking about the Great Depression with Americans in soup lines. But soup lines were replaced by a soaring stock market that went up almost 400 points. This ain't 1991. It ain't 1987. This is not an economy that's in full-scale collapse. It's a very diverse economy. That's why the Dow Jones today went up over almost 400 points, despite more massive write-downs. Many people believe.
Joe, I want to challenge you on this point, because I get it that the market is responding. Maybe there's a bottom to the market, but you cannot deny that with historic drops in housing prices, where middle-class Americans are losing billions of dollars, all told, on the most important asset, which is their home, combined with fuel prices, that people do not feel that the economy is what really matters to them.
Well, I can, because look, the unemployment rate is below 5%. Inflation still historically is at low prices, despite the fact gas prices are astronomical. Oil is really high. Right now, most Americans are suffering their losses on paper. The value of their home is down. There are a lot of people that are being hurt and a lot of people are being squeezed. But again, this isn't like we're suffering 7, 8, 9% unemployment or 21% inflation, which we had under Jimmy Carter.